Hello, I'd like to take you on a trip with me to the Balkans. I must admit it's now 2 years since I've been there, but I've been following the countries that make this reasonably often, particularly in the light of COVID-19 and what it's done to us. Anyway, let's start ourselves off. The Adriatic Sea near Dubrovnik. It's a beautiful part of the world. And where are the Balkans? Just in case you're not so sure, and I admit I wasn't either, it's made up more or less of Croatia, as you can see in the bluey grey, Bosnia and Herzegovina in the light green, Montenegro, brown, Albania, pink, Serbia, purple, Kosovo, blue, and North Macedonia, as it is now, in the sort of limey green. Okay, we didn't visit Romania or Bulgaria, which of course are quite large, but I think I can take you on a pretty thorough journey through the Balkans. I'll give you some time to read this and then add a bit more to it. The two autonomous areas, provinces that are mentioned there, Kosovo and Vojvodina, were both part of Serbia, and Vojvodina today is part of Serbia. Tito was born to a Croatian father and a Serbian mother, which gave him the perfect background to unite the country. After being taken prisoner by the Russians after World War I, Tito was active in the socialist takeover in Russia, but managed to avoid the Stalinist excesses that saw many of his contemporaries slaughtered. Always building on the rights of the workers, he was often sacked and jailed for his beliefs. During World War II, he rose to lead the partisans, who were acknowledged as the most effective underground group opposing the Nazis and the Axis troops. Despite his socialist values, he was seen by the royal family in exile and the Allies as the logical choice for Prime Minister. The Bosnian War, the conflict was initially between the Yugoslav army units in Bosnia, which later transformed into the Army of Republika Srpska on one side, and the Army of the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which was largely composed of Bosniaks, and Croat forces in the Croatian Defence Council on the other side. Tensions between Croats and Bosniaks increased through the late 1992, resulting in the Croat-Bosniak War that escalated in early 1993. The Bosnian War was characterised by bitter fighting and systemic mass rape, mainly perpetrated by the Serbs, and to a lesser extent by the Croats and Bosniak forces. It's highly unlikely the Bosniaks actually took part in any of the rapes, because, as it said, most of them were Muslim. Events such as the siege of Sarajevo and the Srebrenica massacre later became iconic in the conflict. Iconic in the worst way. Both Serbs and Croats feel threatened in Bosnia and Herzegovina, although they've had a large population in the past and still benefit from a representative voting system where people vote for either the Croat, the Serb, or the Bosniak parties. One of the outcomes is that there is hardly a functioning government at all, as all roles are either rotated, the presidency, or shared, the cabinet. Imagine trying to get some sort of primary industry regulation down when you have to go to 3 different ministers for agriculture. Some Bosnian Serbs are threatening a referendum on independence, a breakaway state on the model of Kosovo, but no one would recognise it, and Bosnia without its Serbs would not be Bosnia. 30 years after Tito's death, there is not much to celebrate in his legacy, except that the wars are over. Bosnia, Serbia and Croatia are not mutually hostile states, although their entangled histories make their relationships difficult. Croatia has achieved EU membership, which is a prize that the other Balkan states envy. EU membership may blunt the edge of nationalism and will certainly make Serbia, Northern Macedonia, Montenegro and Albania keen to push their transitional EU membership aspirations further.